You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insight directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Like that cut.
What is up, everyone? Paul Apostolakis here with Inside Real Estate. We are here with another episode. Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. For those of you that are coming here for the first time, welcome. For those of you that are back, we appreciate your patronage. Please go to Facebook.com/IRE Podcast. If you want to see us live, go to irepodcast.com or wherever you want to consume your podcasts. We are there. So please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps us out. Today, we have obviously Tom Lauer, my co-host, is going to be on the show. We also have a very special guest, Mr. Matthew Stransky. How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me, man. Good to see you guys again, and
yeah,
happy to be here, man.
You're in our new studio. This is our second time using this new studio. Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like I'm in a spaceship, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they can see, but yeah, looking good and they can sounding good and ready to rock, man.
All right. So today we're just going to talk real estate. We're going to sit back and have a conversation about some real estate. We'll talk about what you're doing in your business and try to accentuate some of that. And then we're going to talk about what you think is coming down the pike.
Yeah, there's the question.
Right? What is happening? Yeah. What is the real thing that's happening? So
look forward to it.
Yeah. So starting off, obviously, the market is really fucked up. How are you, Mr. Matthew Stransky, handling the fucked up market?
Yeah. Right. I mean, that is the question. And being really candid, man, for us, it's not a lot different. You know, we're kind of like rooted as a team in the fundamentals,
right?
The way we work. So maybe a few more calls here and there. A little less conversion. Yeah. But the grind is the same. We don't necessarily have to like
reinvent the wheel or anything like that.
Exactly. Right? I think the ones that are going to succeed in this market, the agents, the teams are the ones that educate the most.
Right.
So, highly consultative right now.
What do you say educate? You're educating your clients.
Exactly. And I mean, even us as teammates, right? I mean, we're sharpening our saw. But yeah, I mean, I think the consultation with that buyer or seller right now is paramount, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot to explain.
There's a lot to explain. So how are you dealing with explaining that to your people? I mean, like realistically in this market, people have to be prepared and be prepared for a grind even on that side if you're trying to buy a house right now, right? So what are you telling your clients right now to get them prepared for this fight?
Yeah, good question. One thing that we've tweaked a little bit are like our buyer and seller consultations, specifically to the buyer, right? Because I think it's a little more challenging now. Is we spend time, we definitely explain the market to them. We help them understand what's going on because there's so much misinformation. So we're giving them the data, we're giving them the facts, we're explaining interest rates, right? Everyone's like, market's going to crash. It's not. So we're having to explain that, and
so
and
you're a firm believer that it's not crashing.
In crashes, so I'm an 07, 08 guy, right? I mean, that to me is a crash,
right?
I mean, it hit the
fan.
Was
a crash.
Yeah,
that was a real crash.
I don't see that. I see a shift. I think that's definitely what we're feeling. One of the good stats that I heard is they're still saying this year that we're going to sell very close to the same amount of homes nationally, right, that we did last year.
Yep.
So I think that kind of tells the tale. I think what we're, again, going back and doing is, explaining all of that. But then really what and I think it's where we're kind of hitting it out of the park. In our eyes, there's only two buckets that you're really shopping in right now. And you've got to be very real with yourself and where you fit and where you want to be. Bucket A is the most competitive bucket, right? These are homes that are turnkey, a lot of new construction, right? That the house that everybody wants, right? Well, we explain that it's going to be competitive as hell, right? I mean, you're probably 30, 40, 50, 60 over. It depends on the house. You're bringing in escalation clauses. You're getting sophisticated.
You're dropping trowel.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, you've got to be ready to play in that bucket, right? So really explaining that. Or for us, bucket B is kind of its own little bucket, and a lot of people are starting to turn to that bucket, where these are homes that have been overpriced.
Yep.
These are homes that have sat longer. These are homes that need a little bit of love, right? And if people want a little less competitive bucket and are willing to put in some work, there's quote unquote some good deals out there.
Yep.
So we really help them identify what bucket do you want to be in. And let me be clear too, like anyone that's listening, bucket B is still competitive, but maybe there's 3 offers instead of 15.
Mm-hmm.
Then through that consultation right there, I think you're really able to draw out a really good strategy for them. And then anything that you send us in bucket A, and you want to be shopping in bucket B, we'll have that conversation. Hey, have things changed?
Right.
So it's really then sticking to that strategy.
Yeah.
And then lastly, it's service, man. I mean, it's all about service. I mean, I feel really grateful as a team because, man, we're never going to have one of our clients miss a house waiting for a realtor. Yeah. Right. The speed of the market is essential. I mean,
essential right now.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we're delivering, but really consultative. And like I said, that bucket, A and B has really worked out for us.
I like that, Tom. I mean, they basically on their team have narrowed it down to very very easy to understand terms. There's 2 buckets, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to think about you've completely concentrated the focus of your buyers just on a couple of things.
Well, I think maybe that's a good point too. I think and you guys too, right? But we're the calm in the storm. Like I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Going back to 07 and 08, this is not an oh shit moment. Interest rates are going to be at 7% sooner than later. That's what I was selling out of college.
Yep.
Nothing crazy. Those are still really good historical rates.
Yep. Maybe more in line with averages, right?
Yeah. So I think that's where that service comes into, where all of us are kind of the calm in the storm, and it's emotional out there. But I think, as you build this strategy and get really specific, it's not as scary as it looks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you guys doing a lot of listings right now?
Yes and no. We definitely have a lot coming down the pipe. I'd say we've been, a little down as far as year to date from last year.
Sure.
I think it's a little bit of the market. For us, it's been a lot of people with timing. The biggest question we're getting is, how the hell do I sell a house and then go buy a house? So
that is a big question. Yeah. I mean, everybody's having that problem, right?
So that has a lot of people, like I said, kind of on the fringe. But now, as people I think are seeing the rates increase, I think it is creating some urgency. That's what we're seeing. So I know, Berkeley and Royal Oak, we've got quite a few to pop. But year to date, probably, I don't know, maybe less than 10% down. Than where we were last year, but we're feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And then listings are obviously moving. There's different challenges on both sides. Very different challenges. Totally. You know what I mean? They're very different. Where if you have a listing, you're fighting to go through all these offers and figure out which one is going to be the best offer. And sometimes it's not the highest, sometimes it's not the cash. So how are you choosing what offers make the most sense for your buyer, for your sellers?
Being really honest with you, I think that's the easy part.
Yeah.
And just because we have a system behind it, right? And shout out to our girl, Elizabeth Talley. They handle all that. We, as sales agent, we sell the house, we get you the most. They bring it in the back end, simplify it. I mean, probably like you guys, we got a bunch of spreadsheets for them to look at and really take it. I think the problem with sellers right now is they're greedy. They're way too greedy, and they really and for us the challenge, and I'm sure for most, is everyone wants to overprice their home right now. They really want to take a swing, and I can definitely show you examples, right, in even our own inventory where the client wanted to do that and we kind of consulted against it, and it proved right. I mean, when they're priced appropriately, that's when everyone comes and fights over your house and brings all the money and the firstborn.
It's just a hard conversation because they had an agent maybe stop in before you stopped in. And what's the easiest way to get a listing?
Tell how much you want to list it for.
Tell them somebody. Tell somebody what they want to hear.
The highest,
right? Just be the highest, and
that's how a lot
you're
of
going to get the listing, right? So then, with somebody with experience that understands the market and it comes with stats and knows how things actually work, like we need to be at market or a little under if you want to get the number you want.
Totally.
You kind of you lose. You don't have as much credibility because they've already bought into, well, my house was worth 650. You're telling me to price at 615. That doesn't make sense. Why? Yeah. And then you have to explain. But
well, and hey, there's the bucket, dude. You know, like as a seller, you just put yourself in bucket B, right? So totally. Yeah. And I think, and I understand, I mean, I think it's very important to understand that other side and that person. But yeah, I think as a consultant, that's really where we've got to step in. And in a perfect example, like I have the last house, that I built. We listed it in Berkeley. I listed it at 585, just like Tom's saying. I mean, it was probably a 605. I can't give the number now, but it definitely is matching like new construction. Yeah, it was all pricing. Yeah, like if I would have listed that thing at 620, I don't think it would have the same outcome. It's hard to explain that to somebody that's in a greedy mindset. Yes, they just don't understand, and the end result will help the greedy person if you take my advice and price it lower, but your greedy mind is telling you, well, when I put my car out for sale, I should always start higher because we got to meet in the middle, right? That's what people think, but it's wrong. It's just the wrong way to do it. I'll be candid. And maybe if my wife will let me, like, I like to try to list my house when I sell it for $1. Let's see what happens. Put it up for $1. $1, Bob. Yeah, it's gonna go to market. So like $1, Bob. Like the price is right. Because I think, for me, real estate is pretty simple. That's what I loved about it. Like being candid, when I did mortgages, I'm like, this is too complicated. Like for real. Yeah. But to me, it's supply and demand, right? I mean, supply is down, demand is high, and all I got to do is put a little bit of bait in the water. And everybody's coming, right? So as long as I price that right, that's exactly what I'm creating. I'm getting as many people. You want chum in the water, and but it's so important to get the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time. Right. We stack showings. I don't know what you guys do. I love people tripping over each other because that's what it creates. It creates what is stacking? So some folks and all good for them, but. They will choose to, hey, 30 minutes and we're not allowing overlapping showings. Oh, yeah. We don't believe in that. One of the best marketing tools I have is someone walking out the door. Scarcity. Is that other people are going in, right? So, yeah. But that's the challenge right now. That's the challenge. A lot of sellers, and just like he alluded to, especially when they're interviewing a couple different agents, they want the higher one. That's not it. Kind of like a contractor, probably throw that lowest bid out. Right. Yeah. So if someone is way higher, like, hopefully that'll mean something to our listeners. Well, it also goes back to their offers, right? So let's say there's 15 offers, right? Yeah. You might get a really high offer, but it's FHA and doesn't have a contingency. You're not, or has a contingency for selling their house. You might not take that highest offer because there's some hair on it. Totally. Right. And to your question earlier, sure, managing the offers and interpreting them, and God, bless everyone that's trying to sell their home for sale by owner. That for sale by owner will be a real challenge, right? Because there's so much sophistication to it. I'll tell you, some of the lessons we've learned, right? Like appraisal gap guarantees are huge right now, right? I mean that. Yeah. But man, we being open, right? I mean, been burned once. Like we learned real quick that, man, we better make sure you have all these funds. So I swear, a conventional deal is almost like a cash deal. If it has a guarantee, is send your approval, but also send your proof of funds. Yeah. That you can back that up. Right. So, that's one of the things that, handling all these multiple offers. I think as agents, there's more work to it. And again, God bless the girls that are doing it for us as the team, but there is a lot of vetting, and the highest price isn't always the best, because who's giving me the biggest appraisal guarantee if I think I'm going to be short? So but I enjoy it. I mean, I've loved the changes. I loved COVID. You like challenges. I do. Yeah. And that's where as an agent, I get to show up, and when it's easy, when it's easy and you can trip and fall into a deal, it doesn't feel as good getting a deal, right? No. But when you got to work for something, there is a higher sense of value to that. Totally. And I think what's cool, because if I can maybe, a little tangent here, but one of my agents, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and shout out to Ryan O'Halloran. He came on the team, and back in that day we were mojo dialing. So, we were calling everybody, right through a phone book. Yeah. And he came to me one day and he's like, man, doesn't it bother you the perception that some people have as realtors? And I was so dumbfounded. I was like, what do you mean? And so he kind of laid it out for me. And but when I came out of college, I had an internship with a gentleman named Bob Bolin, a company called previewproperties.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I was fascinated, right? And then as I got into it, I worked the same way and yeah, consultative and caring. But for me now, that's what I love is the price and the value on a realtor right now has never been higher.
Right.
And great. Because dude, I've been waiting for that. And in my head, it's always been like that. So, the strong will survive. And in every industry, there's turds, right? So there'll be some deterring.
We'll see some attrition happening pretty quickly.
Good.
Same thing in the mortgage world. Oh my God, the mortgage world is going through a reckoning. The mortgage world is going through a reckoning right now. Like it's
total sales pitch. If anyone wants to sell real estate, we're hiring.
Yeah, there you go.
From mortgages.
There you go. Yeah, you do have a team. How many people are you have on your team now?
So right now we have 5 agents.
Yeah,
we've got 3 girls on the back end.
Nice.
And then we have a marketing coordinator and an inside sales associate.
All right.
That's a great ratio.
That's
a ratio of support to salespeople. That's a really good ratio.
Saying a lot coming from you. So I appreciate that.
I mean, it is. That's you care about taking care of your people. Clearly,
it's all about people and, the service side with the clients. And then, as you know, it really is the team, and I feel really grateful because this is our 6th year, but in my heart, I feel this is really only my 3rd year. Yeah, because I was building houses much more than I was really in the team. But I love it. I mean, seeing.
Are you more of a builder or more of a broker?
Now I don't build shit, and I love it.
Got it.
You're out on the building.
Oh, it's been great. Like I haven't built anything.
Less stress.
Oh my God. Like
less stress.
Totally.
Totally. Building is not easy, dude.
No, everyone thinks it's like HGTV.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, it's the clients. Could you imagine the clients?
Yeah.
It's gotta be tough.
And I had it easy. I'll be honest. I mean, I spec'd everything. But to the point, like I enjoy the team way much more. I'm seeing people become successful, which is sweet. I'm seeing people become leaders, and then the impact. And now we're really involved with the community and Berkeley sports and getting into. So it's sweet, man. It's.
Let me ask you.
Cool.
So I like some of the shiny objects sometimes, right? The bells, the whistles, the technology stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Is there anything that you've seen that so you said you used to use Mojo? Mm-hmm. Is there anything you've seen recently that like gets you excited or?
Sure.
Yeah. What are you guys using right now? That's
like my secret
cool?
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me your secrets, man.
So lead generation is like everything to me.
Lead generation.
Lead generation. It's an attitude. Just if you're a lead gener, you know what I'm saying, right? For us, the biggest technology that we brought in now is Chime.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, dude. And
I've heard
like Twilio.
I've worked with Chime.
Yeah. And Chime for me has probably been like Tom saying, like, one of these just really shiny objects. But now after doing it for a year, it's starting to show its worth. Yeah. And for me, if it makes sense, what that CRM does is it puts me and my team in the middle of the funnel.
Yeah.
Dude, back in the day, I mean, I got a freaking number. I called it. And if it was good, great. If it sucked, but I had to call everybody. And that's what I did. Now the team is structured so much different where if you're in the middle of the funnel, we're calling you. And if you're at the top, we're letting our AI, we're letting our ISA, right? Yeah. So that for me has probably been one of the coolest, shiniest objects. And
how is Chime different from other CRMs that you've used in the past?
They, one, were really archaic. So let me preface that. I was using Top Producer.
Got it.
Before that, Top Producer is like an maybe slightly advanced Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it's
slightly
advanced.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we were using that before, and we looked at them. And I'm a KW agent, and they have Command, which is cool. They're really working hard on that. That wasn't the right fit. We worked at OpBoss, Follow Up Boss.
Mm-hmm. Weren't a fan.
And a lot, I wasn't. And then it goes back to, having some people that you respect, right? That have used the system and we're talking. And what's funny about it, man, and shout out again to Elizabeth, is she's the one who brought Chime. I liked FirePoint.
Okay.
Like I was like, oh, FirePoint's kind of cool, and then I was
FirePoint's
being a little cheap if I'm being open. like costs a little bit less, right?
Sure.
And that's why I love her. I mean, she really kind of pushed me on it and got me in front of a couple other good teams that were good, and the rest is history.
So do you think you have 100% like participation with the agents yet, or is it you know what I mean? Like, do they see value in it? Because that's what we find sometimes is we'll roll something out and we think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's like 30% adoption. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh my God, we've got this brand new thing.
Be so great. I can't wait.
It's going to be fucking awesome. Yep. It's shiny, and you spent months setting it up.
Yeah.
And thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Then, you know, 3 out of 10 people use it.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I experienced that. I think especially for us as team leaders, we're looking at things a little bit differently, and that's kind of what I've accepted now.
Right.
We're looking more big picture, like that middle of the funnel. Like, do I give me a business boner? And for me, it was, it wasn't received the way I thought it would be. But I will say this, and the book's Good to Great, and that whole series, right? Like you really got to tell your team probably 7 or 8 times.
For sure.
So I think after, about that year, they really know the tool they have. But not right off the bat. It was like, oh shit, like Matt's happy about some other thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. Mm-hmm. So one thing, Matt, that you've done, I think a really good job of is your social media presence as of late.
Okay. Thank you.
I feel like you've really ramped that up.
Trying, man. I'm watching you guys.
You've really ramped that up. So you're doing some really good stuff with it. I know you share a lot of your personal life, of your, you're not bashful at all.
I'm, Elizabeth, again, shout out, but she's like, dude, you gotta, this jujitsu shit that you're like doing in your garage with your kid. But for me, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on it, but I think that's what people want in social media. For the most part, people know I sell houses.
Yeah.
It's that connection, right? And I have no problem being open. And being open. I mean, I love myself. I know I'm not perfect. But
you also don't have anything to hide.
No, I really don't. And I'm like such a nerd. So it's pretty easy. I mean, it's like God, family, real estate, jiu-jitsu, and fitness. Yeah. So, I appreciate that. I'm trying for sure. Check us out on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
At Stransky and Company. But I appreciate it. Yeah,
so who do you like? I mean, we're on social media, right? So we see people doing stuff like I think about like Mark Schaffner. He does some really good stuff.
My boy.
Shaft does some good stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's hilarious. You've got creative. You've got, who do you see out there that's doing some good stuff?
And again, shout out to Shaft. For sure. I've had some really good talks with him.
He spends a lot of time. He's dedicated.
Oh yeah, I tease him. His hair's always on point, and my
don't bring up the hair.
Fresh.
Don't bring up the hair. He loves his hair. Yeah. It's like it's a whole thing with his hair.
But I who do I follow? For me, what I really did a deep dive in was like just consumption. Yeah, I just went in and I wouldn't say I really follow anybody.
Right.
But like if I see something, like man, like okay, I can run with that. I love Gary V. I mean, that's a guy that going way back. But there's no one that I would say I would follow. And for me, I'll see things on fitness that, I can relate that to real estate
right.
So I just try to consume, and I have like a time block, probably about 45 minutes where at the end of my day, I'm kind of turning out and, plugging into that. But it's fun. It's fun. For me, it's a pillar. But there's some people that I think put too much weight on it. If I can give my 2 cents on it, you have to do the other shit too. Yeah,
you can't just be you can't just be a social media star.
I mean, there's such a small few that will do it,
right.
And kudos to them. And but to me, and as a team, we talk about it a lot. Like it's a pillar, guys. Like you have to do it, but it can't substitute these other things.
Right.
But it's how you do it too, because you can use social media as a prospecting tool, just like you would a CRM.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that during your prospecting time block that you should be scrolling through Instagram and saying that, you're building when you're on social media, you're either in consumption or creation mode.
Yes.
One of the 2 C's.
Yep.
And if you're in creation mode, then let's feel good about what we're doing. If you're in consumption mode, I don't know that we can really count that as work or a grind, right?
I totally agree. And kind of like you were asking
So
earlier,
you're saying when I watch TikTok for 3 hours that I'm not actually doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
because I get sucked into TikTok.
But there's sometimes you will, like, for example, last week's show, you found the one guy that explained the vacuum,
the vapor
vortex,
lock,
the vapor lock of the market, which was cool. That was relevant, and we talked about it. So that added value.
Yeah.
But what were you would you have seen it if you weren't scrolling? Probably not. But
I do a lot of scrolling.
Yeah,
I'm on TikTok. I love TikTok's algorithm.
Funny, I'm not on TikTok. I opened a TikTok and and I'm
don't do it. It'll suck you in, man. That TikTok's algorithm is literally the best. Like once
it's giving you what you want,
it's giving you exactly what you want. And then if I feel like if you pause on like it knows, like if you look at Dave's TikTok, he said he's got a lot of girls dancing on that. Well, that's what he's into.
Well, now think about that though, as if you're not a consumer, but now you're a creator, right? If you look at that as a creator, that is the platform you 100% want to be on, because if someone is looking for new houses in this metro area, the algorithm is great and it knows, right? So as a creator, all I got to do is put some decent content out there, and 100% it's going to get in front of the right people.
I'm starting TikTok. Okay.
And
that's it. You're doing it.
NAR had a study, and I don't know the exact numbers, but it was like, what percentage of realtors are on Facebook? A ton of them. What percentage are on Instagram? Less.
Okay.
What percent are on YouTube? Way less. And like TikTok was like less than 3%.
Really?
Yeah. Wow, so it's like these are opportunities out there, but they're not opportunities to just go get TikTok and scroll. Like you need to be in a creator mindset.
Yeah.
And I mean, now I'm hating myself as I'm saying it, but when I make a video there, I would assume I should just send it over there.
No,
the fastest way to
it doesn't work the same. Like I think TikTok it needs its own type of format.
So I'd have to make the video on TikTok.
Because I tried that. I would because I make the videos and I do the minute whatever, and I try to put them on. They did nothing. But like if you're
they need to be way shorter on
dynamic,
TikTok.
Short,
like
music,
the flashy stuff.
I got to do like a dance, like. You know what I mean? You got to have some good music. I don't know.
God, look at that guy's hair.
Yeah,
that's my dude.
Mark Schaffner. Oh, thanks, fellas.
Looking good, Shaft.
Looking real good.
I call him Shaft Daddy.
That's it.
He doesn't like that.
I know.
It's Mark Schaffner.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. Shaft Daddy is what I call him now. So what do you think is going on with this market? What do you think is going to happen?
What I anticipate, and again, I feel fortunate, right? With K-Dub, I've been able to network with some people around the country that are much bigger than us. I think we're going to experience some flatlining for sure.
Flatline. Explain that.
And to me, I think we're going to see modest appreciation.
Got it.
Right. I think
modest
rates right now are doing it. And this is what sellers have to understand is probably your house is worth the most today, because as interest rates go up, right, buying power is going to go down. Those two just follow each other. So
it already has,
the offers are still going to be crazy, but they're starting at a different number now because they don't qualify for as much.
True.
So I think you're going to see some flatlining. And in the micro, I don't see anything like too crazy. That's what I see. But I also can't tell you what's happening 4 or 5 years out. That could be a little different. But I think in the macro, the next, like 3 years or so, that's what I anticipate. And what we're interested to see is, do the rates kick some people out? Like, all right, I want to sell my house and, I got to buy one. Or are more people going to pull back, sit in their house, and
more people are going to pull back,
maybe reno it because, hey, I'm at 3%.
Yeah, I'm not going to double
but I will
my
say
rate.
this. I will say this. And this is what we talk about as a team. Building something right now, have fun. Like that. That is not a small task. And I mean, the price of a 2x4, like, so there's a lot of these variables that, so that's one of the things we're waiting to see. And we've talked to some folks last year that were, the summer and now they're renovating. Right. But then we're getting other people that said, hey, I wasn't going to do anything. Now I want to. So I'm not sure, but I think short term, I think flatlining prices, modest appreciation, but not an 07, 08. I don't.
What's going to be the catalyst to bring us from a seller's market back to a buyer's market?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I ask. And
I don't know.
I'm guessing it's interest rates. I
wrong.
don't know.
I think it's
that could be
prohibitive.
wrong.
I think it's absolutely prohibitive. I think rates are prohibitive to supply, because I think as rates go up, people don't move out of their houses.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
So
that's my question. What's the catalyst then?
I do think the rates are a little bit of the catalyst, and I totally agree with you. But I think what people have to understand is, as a country, it ain't good that your interest rates are at 2%. Like that's not right. We want a stable economy. So to have it at 6 or 7, what people I think are going to have to understand is it ain't going backwards. Like, and
we're going to pay a huge price for all of the super artificially held down rates that we've had over the last 15 years. We just started paying for it.
We're just starting to pay for it.
But I think that's what it is.
How
it
heavy
has to
do we
be
pay
supply, like that's the whole thing.
I don't see
now.
supply.
Well, I don't either.
Out.
I mean, you can't build it, and the supply chain's jacked
up. My mortgage
up
is 2.5%. There's no way I'm selling my house right now.
Not a chance you're selling your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just no way. Why would I move?
You can't.
You know what I'll do? I'll pull out an equity line if I want to add an addition on, or a pool or whatever.
And that's why I say interest rates are prohibitive. I think interest rates are prohibitive to the supply issue. I agree. You know what I mean?
I think the long term of it might be different, because that let's be real, the consumer, and I love them, right? I mean, but they're not as educated as us, right? They're not in it. I mean, I couldn't do what they're doing,
right?
But when people accept that the rates aren't changing, that's going to open things up a little bit more, right? Because everyone deep down in their gut thinks we're going back to 2%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Really?
If you think that, you can't be more wrong.
You think that? You think consumers are holding on to the idea that we're going to fall back to 2%?
I mean,
I think some of them are. I'm with you.
Yeah,
really?
We get a lot.
How many people say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the market to get better.
I'm not hearing market get better. I'm hearing I'm going to wait for the market to crash.
Yeah. I hear better, crash, inventory. I mean, like our ISA, Dan.
Yeah.
It is all the same stuff, but that's what we're getting a lot. Yeah. Like rates are going down. This is crazy. No houses. Like, I don't think that landscape is going to change. And I think
not in the near future.
And let's be real. We always know, I mean, there is a lag for the consumer to catch up to what's going on. Right. Mm-hmm. So there will be that lag. Where that lands us, I don't know, but that'll be the magic question.
I see double-digit increases in property values. I see property values continue to go up. I use Vancouver and like as an example. I watched Vancouver go through this like huge housing boom, and it was a lot of outside investors. They raised rates. The
prices haven't gone down in Vancouver.
They haven't.
Right.
Toronto, same thing.
Right.
They haven't gone down. They've seen inflation in the market, and they haven't gone down. Maybe they haven't gone up as. I mean,
the same example would be like the Bay Area, right? Like San Francisco, same thing.
It's supply and demand. I think there's like 15 houses for sale in the Bay Area. My buddy,
look at Little Berkeley where I live, right?
Yeah,
there's friggin' 11 houses for sale, man.
11, all of Berkeley.
All of Berkeley. So
Berkeley's an anomaly, though. Like Berkeley, what it's done over the last 7 to 10 years has been amazing. The way that community has just driving through town there, like the difference from 10 years ago to now.
So I live there, and gosh, I've been there like 11, 12 years, whatever it's been. But when I met my wife, she's born and raised in Berkeley. I'm like, there's no way I'm living over here, man. Like I was an East Sider. And but yeah, now that I'm there, I love it. But what's really interesting to that is we were always doing our building and our flipping and everything in Royal Oak. And we kind of saw that trend.
You ignored Berkeley.
Yeah, well, we did, right? We did, and it was because of numbers, right? We were right. But then what was interesting is we really saw the trends that were kind of following Royal Oak, very similar.
Yeah.
So we were not the first, but we were one of the first to jump over there. Yeah. And man, it really treated us well. What's really interesting to me about Berkeley, we are starting to get in those 6s, right? Mid 6s.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
But what's interesting is it's vinyl siding.
Berkeley, dude.
Mid 6s in Berkeley.
Vinyl, I mean, I just, like I said, the offer that I just got, I mean, it is nice, right? I mean, it's mid 6s
in Berkeley.
And that's what it costs. That's what it takes. But the reality is they're using vinyl.
Yeah.
They haven't crossed over to hardy board.
Yeah.
So I actually think there's still a lot of room to like go up in Berkeley. And then Berkeley's a 2 mile square.
Yeah.
2 mile square. Like
And
there are
it's
only so many houses.
It's
good
situated in such a good area near.
I love it. Shout out to
You can walk everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
Berkeley's
Very
a great
walkable.
little city.
Yeah.
It's a very walkable city. Yeah. So speaking of which, you had a good eye with Berkeley, right?
What's next?
What areas do you see right now in the area that's like a good good place to be?
Yeah, really good question. Like if you're talking about investing, I don't really care about the area too much. It's more about the house. But for me, I'm just a really big proponent. I always was of adding square footage.
Yeah.
I think to me, it's actually a way to hedge against risk, because if I'm really good with my numbers and I know what it's going to cost to build, I know what my end game is on the added square footage, right? The price per square foot.
Yeah.
So, but for me personally, my strategy, because of what I was doing with the team too, I just kept everything local. Like I stood on the Woodward corridor.
Yeah.
But man, if you really want to be an investor right now, I do think you have to be open to maybe some different areas.
Yeah.
Because it's what we just said.
How do you feel about I love Oak Park.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Oak Park has seen a huge change. What they're doing along 9 Mile there, putting the trails in and all the kids' play equipment, and then they're going to really slow down traffic. Yeah. It's kind of like, Ferndale and Oak Park are going to kind of connect along that 9 Mile corridor.
Yeah.
And home prices in Oak Park are still affordable. I think you could still buy a house for 185, 190 ish, like a decent home.
Yeah.
I really like that area.
And then taxes aren't too crazy.
Correct.
Oak Park is it's funny. Our area is so.
Well, you're in Madison Heights. It's got to be a little.
I'm not in Madison Heights. Hazel Park.
I'm sorry, Hazel Park.
Hazel Park's
one of those.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I live in Hazel Park. It's not like the nicest area, but I had to get out because of my divorce. But I live. They've got the highway right there, right off 9 Mile now. I get everywhere within a half hour in all of Metro Detroit. There's not one part of Metro Detroit that I can't touch within a half hour. I'm there. Like, I drive from Hazel Park to Auburn Hills, which sounds like a long ways, 20 minutes with 75 right there.
Anyone that might be like an outside listener, like that Woodward corridor pocket is real interesting, man. I mean, if you're flipping, if you're renting, I mean, holy shit, like
renting
$1 to $3 a square foot.
Paul?
Yeah.
You're renting in.
I pay $2,400 a month, but it was fully furnished.
Sure.
To be fair.
Yeah. How big?
That's tiny, dude. It's a 3-bedroom, but it's like maybe 1,500 square feet.
Sure. Which is actually good size, but
maybe 1,100 square feet. I don't know. It's not very big.
Sure.
No basement.
Sure.
But I'm just, I'm a vagabond right now.
Yeah,
but it works for you.
It works for
me.
It's
furnished. It's got the location you want, and you make enough money, so you're willing to pay $2,300 a month for it.
Yeah, but being in real estate and mortgages, it is odd that I don't own. I did own, obviously, but the divorce kind of fucked that up. But now that I'm renting, it's like I don't think I'm going to not rent for a while. I think probably going to rent for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
What I
Grant Cardone right there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Grant doesn't give. Yeah, he
hates homeownership.
He hates homeownership. Yeah, he's like put all your money in
cash flow. Yeah.
10x.
But I think that Woodward corridor is really interesting, and it's what we're alluding to. There is great access. You got 696 and 75. You connect all the thoroughfares. That's what I love about it. My parents still live out on the east side. My brother,
where on the east side?
25 in between Jewel and Shaner.
Yep.
Lake Arrowhead, shout out. But they it takes me 35 minutes to get there.
Yeah,
it's nothing, man.
Those homes are in the sixes now.
Yeah. I mean, at least you get like a brick fortress,
right?
And a drawbridge,
a little mini McMansion,
a quarter acre.
Yes.
And, you're not on a 50 by 132. Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of which, of those outside areas, like Macomb, then you've got like even out west, past Novi, you've got what am I thinking of? Like Wixom and all those areas. Those areas are starting to see a lot. I mean, they have been, but the appreciation, same kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere, man. And like I said, it's with the climate of everything and inflation, like everything's going on, man. I mean, like I buy my little guy's candy every week, right? And I mean, I'm not that old, like I'm 42. I mean, things used to be 50 cents. I can't even get 2 for $1 anymore.
I know.
It's like for two for $2. And so, I mean, everything's going up. I think the great thing, as we're talking kind of about investing in real estate, that's it. That's how you hedge against inflation.
Is owning things.
Yeah.
You have to
own an asset.
You have to have assets.
Yeah, you got to have assets. It's interesting.
So buy your car, buy your house, buy.
So I have all
whatever you can buy.
Totally. I grew up, man. I had the shittiest cars, right? And then when I married in, and again, shout out to my father-in-law Dale. He hooked me up, right? Like he worked at Chrysler, and oh man, I had a couple of Jeep Grand Cherokees and stuff. It was so cool.
Yeah.
But now I'm buying it. Like screw
you're on the lease train.
Yeah.
Well, it's made sense to lease.
Yeah.
Financially, it's made sense over the last 10, 15 years.
Well, bro,
but now
people are turning their leases in for a profit.
I know. Well,
right.
I mean,
for tons of profit.
Yeah, I could sell it, but I'm in. For me, I have what do I have? A 2019, and I got like 16,000 miles on it.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I'll be able to sell this thing in 3 years and, maybe do something. But
Cars are
totally.
Here's something
own your
novel.
stuff.
Drive it for 7 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm like, man, I guess I'm too bougie.
Bougie. You've gotten bougie in your old
You get bored with it, right?
I'll be really honest. I drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee, nothing crazy. I probably pay $358 for it. But that's actually my dream car, which is really, really funny. And my cousin Jeff, that I grew up with, he had like one of the first Cherokees. I was like, dude, I'm gonna get one of these. So every time I get on it, I'm really grateful. But yeah,
I love? I love the old school, just straight up Cherokee.
Okay.
The old the boxy one.
Yes, that's what he had.
The boxy one. Yeah. I love that car. To this day, if I see one, like I almost bought one instead of my FJ. I bought an FJ Cruiser for the winter. Yeah. But I was looking at them. They have a little bit of a rust problem. But I love old Jeeps like that. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. My girl's a Wrangler girl.
I had a Wrangler.
They hold their value.
Dude, the ride is horrible. You get
totally.
Dude, it's like,
and I'm like, I'm actually kind of a baby. Like, anything extreme, man, like motorcycles. And I'll be honest, riding in that thing, I didn't like it, man.
No,
it feels like a noise, and I'm like,
it feels like you're in a cardboard box. It's about
like,
to fall.
this is not right.
Especially if you have a soft top or something like that going on, right? So what's going on? So let's talk about what's going on for Stransky and Company. Talk to me about what you see envisioning for your future, what you're looking to accomplish over the next year.
Sure, team. Sure. Just to continue to grow. To have fun. I think what it's really all about now is building and finding leaders. With Elizabeth and Tom can probably really talk about this too, but it takes the right people to build the right thing. And I feel that we've got like a really, really good nucleus, but now, we're looking for more agents. We're not a team that's like, we need 800 agents. That's like the opposite of what we want. Yeah. But we'd like to run like a Navy SEAL team where we got maybe 10 or 11 of them that are killers. Yeah. And then we want to really work on that marketing and like digital side, like you talked about. I really appreciate what you said. And then just having fun, man. There's so much negativity in what we do. This shit's a blessing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I used to work in corporate America and rocking for all those that are doing it. For me, it wasn't the right fit. So I love the opportunity. It's still the same. I wake up every day. I can go after it. Right. That's it. I'm betting on me. Yeah.
But you can also take 14 days off and take your kids to Australia if you want.
Yeah. And especially with the teams, right? Because there's so much support there, and as we grow, that's what it is. And just like he alluded to earlier is it is loving on our people, right? I mean, Liz, Primo, shout out to her. I mean, she is killing it. You won't find a better agent. And, we're giving her some leverage pieces, right? We just got her a showing assistant, instead of doing 15 million this year, why don't you go do 25? Right. Right. So, we're really trying to empower those people.
So she did 15 last year.
What did she do? She did 10-5.
That's great. How long has she been? Has she been with your team the whole time?
Not the whole time. Okay. Kind of a funny story. She's a good friend of mine, and she won't mind me saying this, but we had talked, and I told her, you got to go work for somebody else, So she went and did it, and outgrew that place pretty quickly. Great place, but just kind of outgrew it, and then we hooked up. So she's been here 5 years now. And
isn't that? I mean, that's what I love. That's my favorite part about this business is watching somebody
Oh gosh, yeah.
take like huge steps forward in really, 4 years, 5 years. That's not a lot of time.
Yeah,
No.
It's not a lot of time to turn your life completely, like,
totally.
I don't want to say turn your life around, but really accentuate your life when it comes to a trade and earning income.
Yeah.
You know, 3 to 5 years, that's college.
Totally.
Right? That's not a long time. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're suggesting people don't go to college and they just go right into real estate?
No, I mean, go to college if you know what you want to do.
College. It's a joke. There's no
That's
reason.
just because you didn't go, Paul.
Yeah, no, yes, I did, but like I don't need a college. Like
You don't need a college degree, but college is a great time, and I've met some amazing people that I have lifelong friendships with.
Absolutely, I don't disagree with you. But from as far as like my kids, if they want to be an accountant, I would rather they spent 5 years with an accountant. They would learn more.
I agree.
So my dad was blue collar, right? A millwright by trade, and shout out to them. My brother is too, and there's a lot of power in those types of programs, right? Apprenticeships.
Yes. Trades.
If you're man, if you want to be a business guy, like he said, I mean, college for me was the same, right? And we're obviously fraternity brothers. I met a lot of great people.
We didn't
right?
talk about that.
Yeah, right. and networking and things like that. But man, go to YouTube. Right. Follow
in today's
somebody.
world, that's all you need.
Yeah. And for me, and again, feeling really loved, but I mean, my parents paid for my college.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate, and I didn't come out of school in debt. I can't imagine going to that place, coming, into the amount of debt people have just to work to pay,
and then the salaries you're getting out of college are 50, 60K.
Well, I remember when these guys were graduating, and man, talk about I actually remember Joka. And Joka, we were at the Wayside, and Joka had just got a signing bonus.
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, wait a minute. I'm gonna get a signing, signing bonus when I get out of college.
Right.
Shit, 3 years later, and the crap hit the fan. It was like, you'll be lucky to get a job.
Yeah.
So, I think, I mean, right now it's a different climate, and man, things are moving fast, and information's everywhere. And if you're a lawyer, a doctor, or
fine, go to college.
That makes sense. But
fine, go to college. I get it.
And I mean, look at what you can do on Instagram and TikTok. So this whole new entrepreneurial world is opening up.
Well, the information is so at our fingertips. It's like
everything.
There's nothing that I need to know that I can't look up.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that could be good or bad.
It could be good or bad. Like, hey,
I start doctoring myself. Like my knee hurts, and they're gonna have to.
I thought you meant like me making bombs or something like that.
Well, there you go. That could be bad.
That's an Arabic
I would assume.
So we are running out of time, so we're gonna do 3 questions. They're 3 random questions that we make up on the spot, and you answer them, and then we wrap up with you telling the audience how they can get a hold of you. But let's go into 3 questions. Tom, do you have a random question in your head that you want to ask?
Random question generator. Running. Yeah, you do 2. I'll do the 3rd.
Okay, you'll do the 3rd.
Yeah,
okay. If you could change one thing about the real estate business, what would it be and why?
Ooh, the real estate business and why? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What would I change? I think one thing that would be worth changing, and I experienced this when I went to Arizona, is the level to get in.
The barrier of entry.
Yeah. I think that could be a little bit higher. But yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know if that's a real good answer.
No, that's a great answer.
You want when I got my license,
want the barrier of entry.
Well, when I got my license in Arizona, it was 90 hours. And I remember, because I was kind of the teacher's pet. I'll be honest, I'm that dork.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her. I'm like, man, what you got, they were teaching cap rates and net operating income and some things that I actually took pride on, that I thought I learned outside of everything
in college.
Yeah, right. And in college, and but that again didn't exist here. So yeah, leveling up that and
yeah, that's a good answer. I think that's a great answer. I think just creating a higher barrier of entry, that's perfect. Next question. If you could travel back in time to one era other than our own, which one would it be and why?
I love that question.
Wow. Era.
You're going to do the 70s?
Can I go back to the 80s, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s rocked. I'm all about the neon and, all the Bo Jackson stuff that I remember as a kid. Man, I look at my little boys now. I got a 6 and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to go back to that era and just play sports and no bills and no
internet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'll go back to the 80s, man. I like to be a little older though. So I was born in 80. So yeah, maybe go back there as like a 10-year-old and just relive my sport.
I'd like to go back to the 80s as a 25-year-old.
That'd be pretty wild.
That's what I want.
Okay.
I want to go to like some wild ass parties. Dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That they existed.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, you ready?
Yeah, I am. So if you could go back to your your 21-year-old self.
Oh boy.
Oh,
right?
there we go.
Back in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, probably.
Yeah.
Because that's about half your life now, right?
Yeah.
If you could go back and give that Matt some advice, what would that advice be?
Wow. Kind of easy because I'm 42 now, right? Is urgency. For me, and I'm sure this is just personal, but could have done things faster.
So you would sit down and you would say, Matt,
yeah,
here's my advice.
So yeah, I would say get after it. Like I went into corporate America, and that'll be for another podcast. But I could tell you some real funny stories. I was getting fired every year. I was the top salesperson, but politically not real good, right?
Sounds very familiar.
I would say I would say the urgency to do what I really wanted to do, right? I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I never thought about a job I wanted. It was about building something. It was about doing Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all these things I read. So urgency, just do it, man. Like, and if you're listening to this and you're 25, just fuck some shit up until you're 30, man.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have just done
mistakes early.
Yeah. And
as
fail,
many mistakes as
like
possible.
That's actually one of our team's core values, but is fail forward, man. Fail fast.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have just jumped into it and trusted myself,
right?
And not been afraid, and don't worry about the money, build it, and it'll come.
Yeah, I love urgency.
It. Money and numbers follow, don't they, Paul?
Yeah.
They do follow.
Quicken.
I'm not a big fan of focusing on the money. I believe it just happens from success, right? It's a
byproduct.
It's a byproduct of doing a good job, right? Every single day. So, well, that's our show, man. Cool. Tell the audience how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for listening. You can check us out on stranskyandcompany.com. You can look at some houses there, home evaluation. You can, look at all of our agents there, vet us. You can find us on Google. Again, just Google Stransky and Company. And then also on Instagram at Stransky and Co., Facebook. If you want to call us, right? If you want to talk to us, 248-563-9449. And we'll see you around the hood.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for coming in, Matt.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Ton of fun.
Thank you so much. It was awesome. So for those of you that have made it throughout the whole show, thank you for listening. It's really appreciated. Please go to irepodcast.com. Leave us a message there. You can go to Facebook.com/IRE podcast. Find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever podcasts are being shown or listened to. If you want to go to Spotify, wherever the fuck you want to go, just you can find us everywhere. Just go. We're not on TikTok yet. We will be on TikTok. I promise you.
Me too.
We are going to be on TikTok. So, everybody, thank you for listening to the show. We'll see you guys next week. We're nearing our 200th episode.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, we are getting close.
Yeah,
we are getting very close to doing 200 episodes. So that'll be really cool. So, all right, boys. Love you. Peace out.
See you guys.
Bye.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.